Welcome to Employee Termination Tips. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal. And in this particular video, we'll ask what controls Employment Standards Code or what you find on the internet. And the fact that you find a lot of interesting and often pertinent high-level information on the internet can be somewhat challenging when it comes to employment matters. Because a lot of people don't necessarily want to go to lawyers right away. They want to find the information and try to deduce stuff themselves. So they go to the internet. However, in going to the internet, you need to understand that analysis that you find on the internet is either very general or very specific and is not necessarily accounting for the facts that are particular to your employment situation. As such, you'll get some analysis that may fit a very tight set of facts, but unless you fit into those set of facts exactly and precisely, you might not be entitled to whatever they're saying. Or you might be entitled to something more, something else, something otherwise. Also, that particular analysis might not be entirely correct. The fact is, a lot of stuff that goes on the internet attempts to be generalized. They try to address a broad array of scenarios. And at the same time, they need to understand there are limitations of what they can say. But when it comes to Employment Standards Code, that is the law. It is a prevailing law. It is a law that controls. It is legislation that's created by the powers to be of the legislature or the jurisdiction, and it dictates. And it is only through the application of that law to your specific facts, taking into account all the law and also drawing into case law, can you ascertain what you are properly entitled to. And that is how things must proceed. So when you read stuff on the internet, when you view stuff on YouTube, you need to take it with a grain of salt and understand there are limitations of what's being told to you, what's being said. And ultimately, everything needs to come down to the prevailing laws, which in employment situations is employment standards legislation, whether it's Employment Standards Code, Employment Standards Act, and how that is interpreted. And it needs to be all the relevant law, not just some of it. And that's the problem. Not just some of it. It has to be all the law, because all the law must be applied to your situation. And that is the only way you're going to determine how to proceed. For that very reason, the internet might be great to give you some ideas, but at the end of the day, what you need is specific legal counsel that draws upon the law, being the legislation and the interpretation through case law, to make the appropriate moves forward with respect to dealing with your employment situation. And hence, the control sits with employment standards legislation, being Employment Standards Act or Employment Standards Code, and its interpretation by the judiciary through precedent and case law. Thank you.